Artie Lange Show. Talking now, my next guest, Todd Hollandsworth. Todd, a Cub guy, does some commentary out there. 1996 NL Rookie of the Year. This guy could bring it. Outfielder, good man. Going to talk a little Soriano. What's up, Todd? Welcome to the show. Todd Hollandsworth. What's up?
Artie, thanks for having me on. But first, let me say this: how you didn't get Best Supporting Actor for your efforts as Santa Claus in the movie Elf?
Thank you.
It's beyond me, my wife, my 3 sons, and my daughter. You were flat out robbed.
Well, it's about time. It's about time someone, especially in the sports community, brought that up. Thank you so much.
We watch you every year.
Well, I gotta say, I gotta say one thing. I love that movie. God bless Jon Favreau and Will Ferrell for signing off on that, because I get a Christmas bonus every year from that baby. They have Elf Marathon, so I like the residuals. Thank you, Todd. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little Cubs first of all. At Soriano, you got rid of that albatross that was becoming Alfonso Soriano. He sent him to the Yanks. He went 0 for 5 today. Got up base loaded a couple times, I think. And the Yanks are just a horror show. They got a beautiful side attraction in the A-Rod scandal and all this crap. And they're not good this year. And probably won't make the playoffs for only the second time in 20 years. But let's talk Cubs in general. It's just fascinating to me. The Chicago Cubs, I went to Wrigley Field again last year. Probably my 12th time I've been there in my life. And it just gets better and better every time I go. You got to realize, for a guy who's not from Chicago, can't go often, I go once every few years. It's so great. It's what all these other parks are trying to be, and it still has that great charisma about it. It's Chicago. It's such a fun place to play. According to Danny, Danny lived with Mark Grace for a while, and they're just batting broads off them in bed. They can't not get laid out there. Major market, major money behind them. Beautiful place to play. You could live around Wrigley Field and walk to the park. Trip into a chick and have sex with her. And we're talking Hollywood type ass. Why are the Cubs not good? How are they not building a great team? Theo Epstein, what's going on?
Well, they're rebuilding, and they're rebuilding
Still?
from the bottom up. But this is what most teams, Yankees don't do this. Yankees, they rebuild on the fly. The Cubs are in a position that, it's been 100 years of Band-Aids. I mean, every season it was merely addressing the issue that popped up. You went out and signed a guy for 3 years, and you made him your right fielder. He comes in, he stinks, he doesn't get it done. He's in the second year of your deal. He frustrates you a couple months more. You do something with him, and then you go out and get somebody to replace him. I mean, you're just constantly Band-Aiding everything that was going on. Well, Theo comes in, Jed comes in. So this is not how we're going to do things. We're going to try to build a team that is going to contend year in and year out. Well, in order for that to happen, you either have to overdo it in free agency year after year, which is going to cost you a ton of money in the long run, and especially the way that the Major League Baseball is structured today, with the draft and everything else. I mean, it's going to cost you a pretty penny. I mean, you know what Robbie Cano's going to go for, right? So, I mean, here you are. You can either start to invest in your system and rebuild it from within, or you can go out and continue to try to find those Band-Aids. And the thing about it is, I look at the Yankees right now and tell me if they're not Band-Aiding every little thing that's kind of going on that roster.
No, you're right,
it doesn't feel good, does it?
You're right, but they've been a playoff team for 20 years and a world champion 5 of those 20 years. They've done what they had to do. Chicago, why can't they be? It's not Milwaukee. It's not Kansas City. It's a major market, way bigger market than San Francisco has won a couple in the last 4 years. Why? And a storied, historic place to play. And God, could you imagine being one of the players on that starting roster and one of the starting pitchers and relief pitchers and the manager to be the one who wins who wins a ring for the Chicago Cubs? I mean, come on, how do they? I don't know. It's epic to me how they're not doing it.
I came here from the Florida Marlins to win a World Series with the Chicago Cubs, and I've never left. I live here. I do it every day. That's exactly what the dream is for so many players. But they had it's been flawed. It's been flawed for a long time. They haven't had they've kind of hovered in that gray area. That's the best way I can sum it up for you, Artie. is that they haven't been complete buyers all the time. They haven't been complete sellers. They've kind of just hung out in the middle with previous ownership groups.
Right.
They've had their moments where they've gone out and spent some money, but they weren't willing to back it up. They couldn't fail. They couldn't sign Alfonso Soriano and have that contract fail and still recover from it. It became the reason why the organization started to spiral in a bad direction. I mean, that's just it. They couldn't hand out $3 and $4 $100 million deals and have one of them go bad and be okay and find a way to recover from it. They're just going to build it from within. They're going to build it up from the inside out, and then they're going to go out and they're going to spend some money in free agency to get what they need along the way, and they're going to try to build a contender that's going to survive, that you're going to go to spring training, you're going to go to Phoenix every year and say, you know what, we got a chance to win this year, we got a chance to win next year, and that's what they're ideally trying to do right now.
Todd, what's Theo Epstein making a year? Is it $20 million? Is he worth? Is he worth the money?
Who is?
Is he worth it? Is he worth?
Who
that
is
kind
doesn't
of
wear a
money?
uniform?
Well, you're going to find out. I mean, I can't give you the answer today. I mean, I think most people. Well, I'll tell you this. Living here in Chicago, the fact that he has been able to accomplish what he's been able to accomplish without really any hint of backlash to this stage of the game is beyond me. I thought for sure Cubs fans would have flipped out by now because they are. They're a lot like Yankee fans. I mean, they don't miss a pitch. They know what's going on. They're all over everything, and they just don't miss anything. And
they're giving them time.
It's testing their patience.
They're giving them time, I guess. But that's a great question, John. I agree with you. You know,
Moving to Alfonso Soriano, what exactly are the Yankees getting with him at this stage in his career?
You're going to get a guy that can hit a home run. I mean, I don't know about tonight's ballgame, but I saw a stat yesterday. The last right-handed home run the Yankees got was May 23rd, a span of 767 at bats.
I thought it was.
Are you kidding me?
I thought it was Bucky Dunn against the Red Sox in '78.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, Alfonso Soriano is going to give you a few dingers. I'll put it to you that way.
All right.
Beyond that, I no promises. If you get him when he's hot, listen, he might take the offense, put it on his shoulders for a week or so, and carry it and give you a little bit of a run. But I mean, that's been his story. That's been kind of his legacy here the last 2 or 3 seasons. Has been a very, very streaky player. You know, he'll come up with the numbers. When you look at the product, you're like, oh, he's got some power. But you realize that, you know, he hit 17 home runs. Okay, well, he hit 14 of them in the last 2 weeks. But before that, he had none. So I guess it's just opinion, you know, how you choose to look at it.
Why are the Cubs paying $17 million of his $24 million salary this year and next year?
Because nobody else would.
Yeah.
Really,
Not even the Yanks.
well,
Not even the Yanks.
This way. The way I see it is the Yankees aren't flipping the bill on it either because that's A-Rod's money, right?
I guess.
Oh yeah, thanks. Thanks for bringing that up.
That's a good point, though.
What do you think, as a baseball guy, Todd? What are the Yankees hoping for? What is the best possible scenario in the A-Rod debacle for the Yankees?
Best possible scenario for the Yankees
Yeah.
is that A-Rod goes away and never comes back.
Right.
I mean, this is a relationship that's just soured on all notes. I mean,
Yeah.
gracious, is there anything left? I mean, it's to the point now where, Artie, I got to imagine, you know, you guys are pretty much laughing at this on a daily basis.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, it really is.
Yeah, it dominates the back page of the New York tabloids, the Post, and the news.
We're baseball fans here, right? I mean, I'm a baseball guy. I've lived my life in it. It's my life now again. I talk about it every day on my radio show. I talk about it in town here with Dave Kaplan, and we do the pre and the post for the Cubs. And I do it every day. I mean, it is a soap opera.
Right.
It's got no place. It's a nuisance. It's annoying. It's Brian Cashman. Honestly, he summed it up 2 weeks ago. I think he did a pretty good job of it. I kind of agree with him right now.
Yeah. I don't know. How long do you think the Cubs give Theo Epstein?
Oh, I think he's.
Let me reword that.
Years.
Let me reword that. Cub fans. How long?
I know where you were going with that.
Yeah.
He's got a couple years. He's bought himself some time. I mean, people are seeing improvement. I mean, just the fact alone that we've been able to kind of creep through this deadline and move some guys and bring some people back in return, create some quantity, create some depth in the minor league system has put him in the good graces of the fan right now. He's gone out. He's done what he said. I mean, it's really as simple as that. He hasn't promised winning and losing. I mean, he really hasn't. I mean, most people in this town are looking a little cross-eyed about the Edwin Jackson signing and some other things, but This is a franchise with no expectation right now. Expectation can kick in sooner or later, though. We called up Junior Lake this year. He started to play very, very well for the team. And you're starting to maybe get a glimpse of what is supposed to happen here in the next few years. There's going to come a time. Is it next year? I'm maybe 50-50 on that. But the year after that, I think there should be some accountability.
Hey, what's the feeling in the city about the changes upcoming to Wrigley Field?
Well, I think people are thrilled. People are thrilled because Artie set it up. You set it up perfectly. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world. I mean, I live in the burbs here. Going to Wrigley Field it's a dream situation.
No worry that that's going to be messed up.
You've got Wrigleyville. You've got the city. The ability to if you can refurbish it, it's worth overpaying to refurbish Wrigley than it is to say maybe take less and go build a dream stadium somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Wrigleyville is 1 in a million, and for us here in Chicago, I couldn't imagine the Cubs really playing anywhere else. But if they were going to, if there was going to be a standoff and they were going to put it to the Ricketts, I want what's in the best interest of the Ricketts family. They've done nothing but try to make this Cubs franchise successful and do everything for everybody. I mean, they really do. I mean, this is the first ownership group that I've actually seen that really cares what everybody thinks, and it kind of amazes me that they're so willing to do it this way. But it got to a point where they were talking about a retractable roof up in Rosemont, and I thought it was kind of funny when you really start to think about it. But Wrigleyville is where it's all at.
Well, what about are there fuddy-duddies who are saying, hey, we like the manual old-time scoreboard, we like the way it is? I know that there's some backlash from the rooftop clubs that are watching the game. They don't want the big modern scoreboard. Are there detractors?
That's exactly what I say. You know what? The Ricketts, I'll give you the same answer over again. The Ricketts have done everything for everybody. The rooftop owners, figure it out. You know what? If you got to build your building a little bit higher, then so be it. It's on you. You know what? You've been getting free baseball for an awfully long time.
Yeah.
Suck it up.
No, you're right. Yeah. And listen, I don't know. The idea, like, just to get romantic about baseball a little bit, the thought of living around Wrigley Field in Wrigleyville and having like a 9-year-old son and being able to walk with him to a Cubs game, to get a Cubs shirt on, get him an Ernie Banks jersey and a glove and a bat. And, teach him how to beat up kids who go see Wolverine.
You just figured out your dream life, huh?
No, I'm saying it is. I mean, come on. There's nothing like it in the world. And what they try to build in these other parks, you're not going to get it in Yankee Stadium because, first of all, they ruined it by building Pepsi Park up there. Secondly, the neighborhood is you walk through there longer than 2 blocks and you may be pantsless. It's just a once in a lifetime kind of thing. Fenway Park has it a little bit as well, but nothing quite like Wrigley.
Couldn't agree with you more, Artie. How many ballparks do you actually walk outside of when the ball game's over and actually think to the left or to the right, and you're okay with either choice? Most of us are beelining for a car or for a train, trying to find our way out of there as quickly as possible.
Right.
It's not Wrigleyville. I mean, there's no better place. I used to take the red line to work every day, get off, grab a coffee, and head into work. I mean, there was no other place in my career where I could do that.
And as a Yankee fan, of course, it's where Babe Ruth called his shot. I love that.
Yeah.
He was getting the anya. And Ernie Banks, I'm sure for the racists out there, the only black people are statues. It's wonderful. No, it's a unique place, absolutely, and I hope they don't do anything. And again, let them build the places higher. Who cares? It's free baseball.
They're going to build it up. I mean, they're going to make it a little bit. I mean, it needs some adjusting. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, the place is it's a fossil. It's old. It needs to be refurbished. But I'm glad they're doing it right where it belongs. I mean, that's just it. They're going to make it as modern as they can, but they're going to keep it Wrigley Field. It's going to look like Wrigley Field when you walk in. I mean, you might see a huge jumbotron out in left field, but it's still going to be the same environment. It's still going to be fan friendly. It's still going to be bleacher seats and lots of fun at the Cubs game.
All right, Todd. Listen, thanks so much for joining us, and we will talk to you real soon. Hopefully, all right, buddy.
Sounds good. Artie, be good, guys.
Todd Hollandsworth on the phone. and Wrigley Field expert. And Dan, you don't disagree with any of that, right? There's no chance they're going to move that.
No.
I mean that's not going to happen. First of all, it's like they talk about the royal family in England. They just generate too much money. Wrigley Field is a moneymaker. If they suck, they could go 0-162. They'll sell out every game.
People still come to Wrigley Field.
It doesn't make any sense. All right, we'll be right back after these words.